Morning. I like it, Jim. I like it. I am having a fantastic day, Sarah. Thank you very much. It's been a good day. Couple of nice trades today, so I'm excited. Moderna coming out with their announcement for their drug. I mean, it wasn't a big trial, but um, had a fairly high efficacy, or however the right pronunciation is, but it worked good. So I'm excited about that. I'm actually putting together a video. Maybe this week I'll shoot it on the recovery stocks. You're going to see some of the regular COVID stocks start to back off a little bit. Some, and they'll go in waves based on how bad the virus becomes the rest of this year. This season, I should say, not year, because it's going to 2021. So it depends how bad it becomes within there by the governors. And, there's shutdowns now of where Michigan, they said people are out on a buying spree or a shopping spree because they're shutting down for 3 weeks. So I actually got a guy that we do business with over there that I need to probably call and see what's happening there. But I know the town well. I used to, when I was in manufacturing, the company that I was owned by, my company I worked for was owned by, was Masco Corp. So I was there constantly. Oh, really? Rick said Seattle is going nuts into a 4-week lockdown tomorrow. Yeah, and I thought it was Michigan, but maybe it was Seattle that they said that people were doing buying frenzies. But it's interesting what's happening. Let's leave it at that. Right. Well, good. I'm glad everybody is here. We got a decent sized group today, a little bit lighter than usual, but not too bad. So Monster Market Movers coming up on the 18th. That is this week on Wednesday. Inner Circle is on Thursday, and then Trading You, the next one is December 9th. We've got free online workshops, of course. Here we are, Power Hour. And then there is a brand new workshop that showed up on your My Account page today, right? It's the very first one that pops up on the banners, the scrolling banners when you get into the members area. Yeah, it's called Key to Be Free. And I figured it out. I truly did. I talked about this yesterday in Pop and in Cover Call Explorer. I figured it out. I know what it is. I know what it takes. I know what the requirements are to help get you successful because we've done it. I've helped others and we've seen it work. So we're going to go through the strategies in that event. I'm doing 2 of them in December, right? They were on December 1st and December 3rd. And unless we sell them out, I mean, it's free training, but unless, people just can't get in, we're not going to do any others. It's those 2, and that'll be the last of it for this year. And the goal here is to help get you successful for the market. Right? Being able to trade come 2021, right? It's time. Normally I try to do something, give back, figure something out. What can we do next? What can I do to help you guys get successful? Kind of a New Year's Kickstarter thing. This is it. Amelia dropped a link to the webinar in there. So go ahead and register and come check it out, guys. It's called Key to Be Free. And I could see my, the other computer, my main desktop, where I keep my email open. I can see at least 20. I have a folder for when someone registers for something. At least 20 people have registered since we started here today. So since I started talking about it on this page, because I looked, we had none prior to me bringing this page up. So Key to Be Free, go check it out. All right, Mastermind Group coming up on Tuesday. Covered Call Explorer, Power Option Plays, and E-Mini Think Tank are on their regularly scheduled broadcast. Of course, next week is Thanksgiving, so we won't have any E-minis on Thanksgiving. We'll be closed that day, right? As you and your family should take the time and enjoy each other. And then we'll be back to our regular schedule after that. Okay, Kevin. I'll see what I can do about that. Let's see if this helps a little bit. Cool. All right. So here's our follow us page. I said this in Pop yesterday. I don't remember if I said it in Covered Call Explorer, but Sean and I laid out a brand new social media plan of what we're doing. We're actually hiring another person right now. We've got there you go, Scott, registered. Awesome. We've got a company we're working with, an agency, that's looking for a person to do a couple of things, including some more social media, some web design, things like that. And they are in the process of that now. They'll be handling some of what Sean was doing to free him up for some of the newer tasks that he's dealing with lately. So once that person comes on, which we should start our interviews within the next week or so, once they come on, my expectation is pretty high that we're going to see a tremendous amount more stuff come through. I mean, I shot my video today after my morning meeting with my team, my Monday morning meeting with the team. I shot the video on pop results. We crushed it again last week, over 70 grand last week, over 70 grand the week before. We crushed it. And we're going to get smacked a little bit on CMG today, but nothing as bad as what, nothing that bad compared to what we did in the last 2 weeks. That's for sure. We're barely going to see it you're like a fly to Vigo. If you guys remember one of the Ghostbusters movies, right? It's nothing. But we, on top of shooting that video, I shot another video on Clear and Concise Entry, a quickie for our Instagram. You just don't know where this stuff is popping up. You know, even Rob, I don't use social media. Well, you do now. Go and set every one of these accounts up and don't have anybody else on them but us, just so you can keep up with everything that we're doing, everything we're dealing with. All right. Excellent. Okay. So let's take that down. Let's go take a look-see at the market. So let's bring it current. There we go. Right. So Dow 30,000. We're getting pretty close, folks. Right. When you look, that's it. I've got it alarmed. So if it does trigger, I'll get a pop-up message and, of course, a very annoying sound. This arugula thing, or aruga, not arugula, aruga noise will go off in there. We're not that far away. We hit all-time highs, right? I mean, it's fantastic what's happening. Again, Moderna, their drug that had that 94.5% viability rate, you know, just helping people, you know, and the 11 people that were on a placebo all got worse, whereas everybody, just about, I guess, on the non-placebo, on the actual drug, it improved, it helped. So, yeah, Tom said, clear and concise entry is the hardest thing for me. I know, Tom, and, you know, we need to get some of these things out there. And I mean, more on the YouTube channel, more on the Instagram channel. Just, you know, I follow a lot of woodworkers, right, on my own personal Instagram. And there's a guy that I follow that makes these cutting boards. And it's crazy how many times he puts out his recipe for coating, for finishing a cutting board. And it's not like it's hard, right? He says, I fill a tub up with mineral oil. I drop the cutting board in for 30 seconds. I lean it up against the wall on some plastic and let it drip overnight. I wipe it down. And then the next day I put on a board oil, a board wax. And I wipe it on, come back like your car, and you buff it off, and you're done. And he said in his last Instagram post, listen, guys, I'll keep posting it. Every time you ask, I'll keep posting it. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? He said, it's not hard. It's just trying to make sure you get the process down, right? So it's no different here. It's not that that it's hard. We need to get more visibility of it out there. It's got to be in your face more. And I don't mean just you, Tom. I mean just period. It's got to be in people's face more to see it. But you are right. You know, this is what makes the difference between the men and the boys, right? And it's not the price of their toys. It's being able to spend the time and figure out exactly how we go about and identify that clear and concise path. So very valid point, Tom. Yeah, Tom said, can't wait for live in-person classes. Much easier to grasp then. Absolutely. And I've got some serious plans that my team and I will be discussing in January. They don't even know about it yet, that we're looking at those types of things for next year. So I really want to get around the country to some different locations and hold some of these live in-person classes, including I'd love to do some stuff at the CBOE, right in there. If any of you have been in the CBO with me before, it is an amazing place to be. Now they've had some changes in there since merging with the CBOT, so I don't know what rules are and such any longer, but I do still have my contacts there. Yeah, I still have your badge, Rick said. Yep, if you look in the video set that we did in the office, you'll see hanging on that wooden rack, there's like a corner shelf. Hanging on the corner shelf is my CBOE badge. Yeah, So I know it was lots of fun there. That's for sure. But we're looking at 30,000 on the Dow ish. Not quite. We're not there. We're up at what are we looking at? Here we go. 29,892.78, right? So we backed off a little bit. It's lunchtime. Not too concerned with it. It's been a great move. I mean, we're up 400 points yet again today, right? So it's been a great structure, a great setup, a great day so far on the markets. The question is there something you can do now to take advantage of what's going on, right? So guys, throw out at me, what do you think? Give me some symbols, not to look at. Don't give me your symbols to look at. Give me some stocks, some companies that you think are COVID recovery companies. Who do you think are COVID recovery companies? I would not have picked them, Rick. Why Cisco? Las Vegas Sands, LVS. There you go, Julius, right? What we're talking about Vegas, right? Casinos, right? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Casinos, for sure. Booking, Roman said. Yep. Travel. Disney, Audrey said, right? They used to be known as Dismal, right? Disney, yes, absolutely. Although Disney, have they reinvented themselves? Guys, look at how powerful Disney's going to be when they open up. If we go here and look at Disney, right? If we go here and look at Disney, okay, and pre-COVID, the highs were up here, right? At 153. Right now we're at 138. Okay, with the recent highs at about 143. So $10 under the recent highs. What has Disney done to reinvent themselves? And when I say done to reinvent themselves, probably not the right way of saying it. What have they done? What have they changed to reinvent themselves? Right? It's their Disney channel, and it's the Disney Plus, right? With 73.4 million subscribers on Disney Plus. Right, Boz, they closed the parks and they still went up. Why? This Disney Plus is kicking tail. So think about this now. Think about this. What happens now when people aren't giving the Disney Plus up? The 10 or 12 or $15 a month. I mean, my daughter's boyfriend has it. We've watched Mulan. We watched Hamilton on there. You know, one of the first ones they did, they recorded it and they had it on Disney. We watched a couple of things like that. My kids are, this is awesome. They love it, right? People aren't going to give it up, at least not in droves. They're not going to. So now they've got a new business arm, Disney Plus the parks, the theme parks. Some of you might be going, well, should I be doing something? Yeah, they're called Leaps. Let me see. There's no option box there because I'm looking at the Dow. Disney. Okay, let's go to Disney. Let's go to the option chain and open it up, right? So now it's $144 stock. It's not like you're getting away cheap, right? So I'm looking at January of 22 as an example, right? I'm going to look at a delta of about 40 on there. So I'm looking at about 11 and a quarter, 11.33 is what my cost is to go out and buy a $165 call that far out, okay? If I'm buying a 40 delta. If you say, Rob, I just want to do the in the money, you can. You can buy the 130 at 26 3/4. But I'm okay going down to 40 delta. Stay away from 50 because of the at the money high time value premium. Excuse me. I forgot about that. All right. There we go. I don't need to see it. I just need it to be there. Yeah, so Robert said, already have Disney Jan 2022 90 calls more than doubled. Amen. Amen. I'm with you, Robert. I'm with you. Because when all of this stuff with COVID happened, I put a video out on YouTube that was COVID video, COVID stocks, right? Give me a second. Let me just. I forgot to unplug the office phone, and I hate when it rings when we're teaching. So when I put together a video of COVID stocks to trade, and that was the Zooms of the world and so forth, right? Well, at the same time, I'm already looking at recovery stocks because I know we're looking at recovery. So as the market comes crashing down, what would have happened had you bought this option? Let's see, 22. So Robert said $90 calls, right? So let's go and get more. Let's go find the $90 calls. Let's go over here. These are the $90 calls, right? And if we're looking at this is back on October 28th. The calls were $36, and right now they're at $57. Right? That's for the 22s. Point being is there's a lot of opportunity out there, and heck, you can even go to the 23s. For $33. And look at the open interest on it. Plenty of open interest. People are rocking on these things. Right? Now you're talking about some long term. And yes, I would be writing calls against them along the way. Yeah, Robert said he got him back in March. Yep. Well, point being, Robert, when did we have all of this craziness happening? As the market's crashing was the time to start looking for them. Doesn't mean you can't do things with the markets with these stocks today. Now, let me go back and see some of the other ones that you guys put in there. Travel cruise lines, Robert said, absolutely. Right. Amos put in American Airline, Wynn. They've both done extremely well. Airlines and hotel, Disney, right, Joan? Airlines. All right. So Love is airline, Disney we've done. Darden Restaurants, yep. COVID. So David said, what do I mean by COVID recovery? So as COVID is getting better, David, we're finding vaccines, people actually listen and take them, right? And all of those wonderful things. And the COVID starts to become less of a problem, less of an issue, then stocks we want to look at that will recover when COVID is recovering. We're getting better from COVID is what I meant by that. So Rick said, customers are re-engaging, refreshing projects set aside for COVID. Oh, that's why for Cisco. Okay. Any travel, amusement parks, movie theaters. The movie theaters I've got is probably one of the hardest ones. I mean, they haven't been able to do anything. One local movie theater here was selling popcorn outside, it's snacks outside. People buying it saying, we just need to support them because they're going to go out, they're going to close the doors. All right. And there were a lot more, guys. I probably can't catch all of them. Right? Bigger gloves for Mickey. There you go. Yeah, Mandalorian, exactly, on Disney, Rick. Yep. Disney's earnings coming up, Jim said 11-12. AMC missed. Yeah, well, not surprised with AMC. They can't open the doors. Ulta. Maybe, Scott. I mean, now you start thinking out of the box, right? Isn't Ulta going to go up because people are going to go out again? They're going to start buying more makeup and other things that they sell, right? I know my kids buy from them. We get 3 catalogs a week in the mail for my kids. MasterCard for people spending more money, Terry said. Possibly. We've seen MasterCard do okay. Right, it's had some recovery, a little bit of a bounce off the moving average, but what a great day, huh? That bounce right in there. Very nice, very nice. And then you got to look at the other companies, the Visas, the American Express of the world, and so forth. Are they in the same predicament, same place, right? So you've got these recovery stocks that you need to start formulating a plan now. And if you wait until they start administering the vaccine, you lost. It's too late. You've got to start making a plan of the right time to buy it. And I'm not saying today is the right time. Okay. You need to have some pullback. Maybe if you haven't gotten in it already, getting in when it's already made the move is probably not the place to do it. I mean, I bought some positions as the market went down from COVID. I bought some. The market went further down. I bought some more. It went down a little bit more. I bought some more and caught some of the recovery as it came back. It's no different than 9/11. It's no different than 08. We ain't staying where we are. We're not going to be here forever. So you need to start planning for the next bullish move. On average, a bearish market lasts 8 years. On average, a bearish market, let me make sure I said it right. A bullish market lasts 8 years. A bearish market on average lasts 8 months, 8 or 9 months. So you've got a huge disparity between them. You know the market's coming back. What are you doing? How are you capitalizing on it? What are you taking advantage of in there? And you need to start formulating that plan today. Today, right? And of course, the holy mackerel. Okay, 142 emails. Okay, so I guess you guys want that key to be free. 104. Oh yeah, we definitely boosted our attendance up here today. 142 people registered already today. Excellent. Good job. All right. So let's go take a look, watch at the movers and shakers today, right? Booking yet again, right? So let's go get that top secret folder out. Booking, I've got down as a day trade. And usually the desk back here is all a disaster where I'm at. There's papers piled up, but I try to make it look pretty before we start power hour or when I teach live with something, just so it's not a mess back there. Also, so no one's trying to read a credit card number or something off of it, which I'm sure I would leave out. So booking, we had it down as a day trade, right? If we go back and look at the daily chart of booking, you might have, oh, wait, I don't have an intraday on. Sorry. It's got to get that started. Okay. So look what happened. We had the gap up. Could you have taken a trade in there? Maybe, but I don't have a concise entry, right? Tom, are you with me? Since you were the one that had brought that up before, do you see why today was probably not a concise entry for us? Yes? Okay, good, good, right? We didn't come to a support level. We didn't have, in an ideal world, there's a confluence of a moving average and a fib line, right? So that would have been a pullback, right? We didn't have that in here today, okay? We had that gap up and the fail. Now, could you have taken the fail off of there? You didn't quite get there. Do I really want to fight the Moderna news and trade the downside? This was, fast action on booking, right? Gapped up and fell right away. Now, the gap fill, absolutely. If the numbers fit, if you've got the gap statistics, you should be running to the gap stats and saying, okay, what is my stat for this, for booking today? And running the statistics and seeing, is this one that I want to trade or not? Well, I'm not showing a fill here, Jim, not from down here. I'm not. Let's see if it looks like a different picture here. I mean, we got close, but we're not. Let's see. What is trade nav showing as a low? Because that looks much lower than 2060.78. Yeah, 2060.78. So where's the close showing? 2051.28. $20.52.87. There's $1 difference between the two of them. We're close enough. So we definitely got a half gap fill. Yeah, and that's okay. Dirty gap fill is fine, Jim. If wicks are okay, I'll take the wicks because price traded there. So I'm okay with that. But we definitely got a half gap fill out of it today. So again, exciting when you see that happen, especially when we got that little stretch up and the fail, right? I didn't take it. I didn't take the trade on it. Mondays is very much a management day for me. Managing any new positions, covered positions that I already have that I need to write on. Anything I have to close out where I was exercised on, today from the weekend, from Friday. So at least right at the very beginning of the day. So I didn't catch the gap this morning on booking. I wouldn't have traded it anyway. I would have liked it closer to the 21.28. We had a high of 21.22. I would have liked it a little bit higher than that. So if we go back, right, you've got booking, then PANW. So nothing else that's really standing out going, oh my goodness gracious, this is awesome. PANW is up $14, which means where is Amazon? They're down 11. Oh, not too bad. And let's just resort this way. Amazon is down $11, right? Adobe is down 7. All right, it's a couple $100 stock, Adobe, almost, 450, 460. So I'm okay with that, right? But when you look at the overall moves that have been made on the market, and let's go back to the S&P today. That's really it. You got this nice move up, this pullback to the moving average. Thank you, and the bounce. So right here this morning at that 10 o'clock bounce, which is that shift in timing on the market, right? It's when we get the pullback and the bounce. It's our second, wave going there. Right at that point. So now you start looking at other stocks at 10 o'clock that were bouncing. And ideally, if you could find something that's making a bounce off of a moving average, right? Here's 10 o'clock. Here's the bounce off the moving average, right? And that puts you in Apple, whatever, 119.5, and it's at 120.5 now, dollar move. It's not a big move, right? But it's Apple. It doesn't have those big moves any longer. How about Google? 10 o'clock. We got a bounce, puts you in about 1784. You did get to a high of 1791. All right, so a couple of dollars, and then a clear fail happening in there. If we look at Baidu, pull back, but a little bit not as good as what we had seen. How about Netflix? Nah, Netflix was all over. See, now Netflix, when we talk about gap fill, Netflix is the bomb, right? Why? With as strong of a move that we had to the upside today, this was sympathy is all that drove this up. Just, I need to go up too. And that's all this was, is let's just have it happen in connection with everybody else. Period. Taking place out there. All right, let me put that back there, get that out of the way. So overall, we had a couple of really nice moves today on the market, right? If you look at, did anybody trade any futures today? Well, actually, how did you guys do on trades? Go ahead and type them in. How'd you make out today? Practice trades, I don't even care whether it was practice or funded. Doesn't matter. Just want to know that you did them. One of my trading buddies told me, this is the guy that told me that we need to be charging $200. And he flip-flops, but $100 and $200 for this class every week. And I keep telling him, we're not going to charge, we're not charging for this. This is a give back. He's okay. How about an admission ticket? That's okay. What do you mean? He said, at least make them come in and show you they did a trade. They got to send you they did a trade before you let them in. So, well, that's an interesting one. That's more doable, right? Let's see. All right, Tom, a little bit against you. Trader Will up 325 so far, but not closed out yet. Ed, $58. All right, there we go. Adobe, pivot to pivot, return on investment 131%. 13%. Sorry, I'm like 131%. That's awesome. So, Roma, where in the world did you get that Adobe trade from? Pivot to pivot. Where did you learn something like that? Today we had Let's see. We gave you the limits on the Qs and the SPY in there. Yeah, haha, I wonder. Wow. There you go. Let's see. Nothing hit my entry, Sarah said. Tougher day with the gaps up, right? Okay, Robert. In oil right now on a short, hasn't closed below my midpoint. On the move, $520 target profit for Tom. Good. Scott said, I waited and got in on Adobe doing it with only 2 contracts. All right. Scott said up $400, Adobe up $400 for me right now on the 2 contracts. There you go. It's perfect, right? So what about this morning? What about futures? You know, if you look at the overnight session on the futures, and you guys need to be looking at them. If you're not, let me switch this back to a 5. Okay. So here's the overnight, right? You could see where the market closed on Friday, right there. We opened up, and look what we did. Right, and this is 2 o'clock is when the European market starts to kick in, right? And it's open till about 11:30, something like that. And then right about 7 o'clock this morning, we got this move up, and I went, ooh, we finally broke those tops, right? So you look for that potential entry in there and look at the overall move that we made. Let me get back my mouse. So if you're looking at, if you're looking at this series of tops, right in here, actually a little higher, right about there. You're looking at that series of tops, right? Which puts us at 29,717. Okay. You get the break above there, and could you have set an alarm on this line? So if it broke through, you were alerted as you're sitting at your computer, right? At your desk, or set it up as a text message, an email, whatever. Yes, you could, right? I usually only use them when I'm here. It's the most important time for me. And as the alarm goes off, and I didn't do it on this screen, this is an @YM, so it's the continuous contract. It was done on another template. So as we made the move up, there was an opportunity, right? So call it, 20, actually, what were we looking for? We're looking for the move above this recent high as the entry. So 24, I think it was about 30, 30 or so when I got in, because the spread had opened up. Actually, it had started getting fairly big quickly. The spread had opened up, and paper trade, of course, right? Only paper trades we talk about. And look at the move. If you talk about 30 as the entry, that's 35. Close enough, all right? So if you talk about 30 as the entry in there, right? Think about it. I mean, look at what happened there. What if you waited one more candle? What if you said, no, I'm going to wait. That big candle, I waited. You got the pullback and the bounce. You still had easy 30, 40, 50 ticks you could take out of this move. Right. Beautiful pressure cooker, Will. Exactly. From 7 to 8:30. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Look at it. Lower tops. We want to see that. And look at the fail, the retest, and the drop. Just gorgeous potential moves. Anyway, point being is you don't have to trade this. You don't have to trade just when the regular market's open. You could have been trading this morning at 7 o'clock, because I'm usually at my desk at that time. I'm usually in my office. 6:30-ish is when I'm in my office. Right? Now, what's the biggest difference? I don't have to worry about dressing up and showering and all that fun stuff before I get down to my office, right? and I don't have to travel where I used to go an hour to get to work. I just show up at my desk, right? And I get more work done in the first couple hours of the day than most people will work in a job. Yeah, Tom says amen. Yeah, to the, yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So good moves overall. Like it a lot. Perfect. So, all right, is that time? Give me the stocks that you want me to take a look at. So Leslie said, don't most trading platforms require you to have at least 25 grand to trade futures? No, I mean, I don't know of anybody that requires 25 grand. They're going to require enough to cover a contract. I'm fairly confident that Trade Pro still only needs 2 grand. They won't let you trade anything because not them, of what the exchanges have done to the rates, but you trade the micros then, Leslie, instead of Leslie said Tosh wants 25 grand to trade futures. Really? Holy mackerel. Well, this is crazy. So let's do this. Sorry, big list in here. Let's make a phone call. Julia said, what do you think of these companies waiting until shortly after the election to make these positive vaccine results public? You know, I've got mixed feelings on it. Julius, I think some of it could be that they didn't like the candidate, for Trump and chose to not put it out there. I think for others, they chose to not try to sway the election. How about that? But I don't think there's, yep, no, he went right to their voicemail. So I'll try them one more time before we finish up here. Find out what their minimum requirements are right now. But you can trade the micros, Leslie, even if TAS may not be the right one. There's Trade Pro Futures. You got Tastyworks. There's a lot of low-cost ones. Paula said TAS wants 25K to trade options in Canada. Yeah, Canada and US don't get along at all when it comes to trading the markets. I mean, at all. It's terrible what they've done. So Kevin said, I'm looking at shorting RNG. Can I get your take on it? Yeah, let's take a look at it. RNG. Which is Ring. Doggies are outside. Right by my office window. Sorry about that. So, let me make sure here. Looking at shorting Ring, can I get your take on it? So the overall bias, Kevin, on Ring is bullish. So for me, it's hard to take that trade the opposite direction. It does have, if we go and switch this over to a little bigger picture, we do have this channel formation happening in here. All right, so maybe moving averages are not our thing on this, right? You could see we've been up and down on moving averages. All right, so we go back here, go back a little bit deeper out. So what I would want to see happen is this. Let me grab a pen. Let's get one that you can see. I'd want to see this break down, close, retest, and fail to take the breakout, to take the breakdown. I am not a breakout trader because too many times this breakout right here pushed up and winds up failing on me. And in many cases, the same day. Look at the breakout here. We pushed up and we failed. We pushed up and failed, up and failed. Up. I mean, it happens over and over again. Oh, but Rob, had we taken this one, yep, that would work. But there's a lot more failures than there are winners of breakouts to me. So Kevin said that's what I was seeing was the channeling. Yep. So I'm okay with it, Kevin, as long as I can get down below that 289.72. So I've got some purpose to it. that line, and I see where you're coming from. If you don't have a fib drawn on here, that line of 303.11 would be a clear place, maybe even a little higher, right? Off of these tops in here would be a clear place to say, yep, I should consider a short off of that. And if you were, you'd be too far away now, right? So you want to come back up and fail. But this 289.72, that's a negative 272 Fibonacci level. That is, Kevin, a hesitation point. And I don't know what you know or don't know about fibs, but it's a hesitation point. And at that point, we may see it pull back and bounce. And it may do nothing more than just slow down for a day or two. But at least you now know what to be looking for. Holy mackerel. My phone's lighting up. It's one of my trading buddies. What's going on? Okay. Nothing. I thought it was, I mean, he sent me that many messages. I'm like, all right, hold on a second. It may be something I want to share with you guys. It's not a trade though. So, which is annoying. So I'm okay with it, Kevin. Just, I like the drop below the 289.72 first. If you can get that, I can be a little more excited about it. David said full margin for day trading has been coming on and off for TradeStation for the last couple of months. Exactly. That's why I said to find out what they want, right? So Robert said if trading ES, TOS margin is $17,300 and an IRA, add 25% to that. So 21,000 could be where 25,000 could come from. Okay. It's a good point, Robert. But it sounds like we're saying that TOS is requiring $25,000 to trade futures, meaning the account open. That's how I took it. Rick said for qualified IRAs, TOS wants 25K minimum held to 125% of the initial margin. All right, good. You're welcome there. You're welcome, Kevin. So Brenda's asking, what is VWAP? Maybe we'll do a training on it one day, Brenda. If so, I'll do it on a YouTube video. It is an intraday indicator. I don't have it on end of day here. I don't use it very often, but it's an indicator. It's called VWAP. It's a volume weighted, I forget what the rest of it stands for. All right, Jim's asking for CSX. Let's go to template number 2. So, I mean, I've got a little bit of a pullback in here, Jim, that I can draw off of, some fibs. All right, so we're okay here with that. I mean, we're up near the zero line, but we're kind of in the middle. I'd like to see the pullback to the 89.38, which will give us about a confluence with the 8 moving average as well. So there's the concise entry would be down there. Lyft and Uber, both, right? Because of their dealings in California, it's been interesting to see what's going on with them. Just fix that. All right. Let's see that move up. I'm okay there. Okay. So we're going to draw from this bottom down here up to this top here. All right. Zero line breakout. All right. So Jim, what I'm looking at here, F11, where's my F11? All right, what I'm looking at here is you want to add in a negative 136. That's a given. So all we're doing is splitting these two Fibonacci levels. If you take the bounce off of 39, you're looking at 41.25 as your first target, 43.5 as your second target. So you've got a little bit of room there on this $40 stock. Right, but all of this is the business they can be deemed that Lyft drivers can be deemed as business owners in California, where they were fighting them and said, no, you can't do that. You have to hire them as employees. And I remember one of the politicians there saying, well, if you can't afford to hire people as employees, then you shouldn't be in business. What? The business model was built on contractors, not employees. Amy said, TradeStation is not giving any day trading margins at this time, according to the website. Very bottom line, I can tell you right now, TradeStation to me is really ticking me off. I'm at the point of many zeros going away from them because of what they're doing and the games they're playing with their customer service. I think it's absolutely horrible. I cannot get someone on the phone. I've got to call the trading department because I can't place a trade so they can get someone to show me how to fix my option station because it wasn't working properly. And that still took 2 hours to do. And I called them the other day. I need to create a scanner and I'm having a problem. It's not working properly. And well, you got to call back another day so you call back at 10 o'clock in the morning and they tell you that they're filled up. They have no appointments left for the day. It's just ridiculous. They are, this COVID thing is, I understand you got to work from home, but your phone still rings at home. You don't work slower because you shouldn't work slower because you're home. Businesses have taken advantage of this for sure. Yeah. So Robert said VWAP, volume weighted, which I knew that, average price. Yeah, I think all politicians are nuts, Will. Yeah, Tom said, thanks for sharing that. I'm getting frustrated too. And I told her, I said, I called Tosh the other day and said, how do I do this? No problem. Within 3 minutes, I got this problem resolved and we're done. Yeah, too long to return their phone calls. They've always been bad, that now they're horrible. Yeah, TradeStation equals next. Sounds like they shouldn't be in business. Maybe. Sarah said, I had the same problem with TradeStation, so I decided to leave them. Took a couple of days of phone calls to get away from them. To get them. Oh, yeah. To get away from them was horrible. Yep. Tom said, the only reason I use TradeStation is because you use it. And Tom, I've used it for 20 years. And I like it. I'm very familiar with the platform. Well, and Karen said, I told them I'm part of a group that's very unhappy with them. Karen, I told them that I've got tens of thousands of students that I teach how to use their platform. Do you really want to do this to me? And you know what their answer is? I get paid by the hour. Do I care? Leave. You ain't going to hurt me. Yep, I have the clout, Karen, but they don't care. I've had the same problem with Ninja when I was with another company. They don't care. I think this whole thing of people not being able to answer phones anymore is ridiculous. You're still in business. You're just answering from home. That's all. And if COVID has made them busier, then hire more people. What is TradeStation's a publicly traded company? Let's see. I don't know if they go under that name though. At least they were. Let's see if we can find anything for them. If anybody's on their website, it should be on their investor relations. Nope, I'm not finding it. TRAD. No. If it is, it's not on here. They may be a penny stock. That's very possible, right? So guys, look, I want to take you back to the S&P. Ticker is TRAD on the NASDAQ. So it's not showing up here. So it may just be that it is too low of a price stock. I'm not getting anything on TradeStation either. Yeah, don't know why. Even TradeStation's not showing it under TRAD. Incorrect symbol. It's not a data thing. Okay. Amazon was another great gap fill today. That I caught late. I was very disappointed I missed that. I want to look at the S&P 500. We had a nice week last week. This was Monday right here. Monday, gap up, little pullback, small move down on Tuesday, gap up Wednesday, Thursday down, Friday was a strong finish. Okay. We need that 34.65.99 level to be broken, right? We need that to be broke for us to continue the bullish move. Right now, in its entire move, we have not gotten anywhere near the 8. And that's what I want to talk about. If you're seeing that's happening on the S&P, on your stocks, it doesn't make a difference. Switch over to the 5. Actually, that's not going to help any. It's right here. This dot dash line, very faint. Switch to the 5 moving average if your 8's not working for you. And you'll get that in times of bigger moves, right? Where you get that stronger move to the upside. So you definitely want to keep your eye on that as a potential to help you with possible entries. So we had a confluence of the 5 and the 236 line versus the 8 and the 236. We're getting the 8 now, but we're too far away. All right. I've got time for 2 or 3 more stocks, guys, if you want me to take a look. If not, I'm just going to rail through some that I'm looking at. Pepsi. Yeah, after I said it, Amos, I realized I shouldn't have. Amos said, do yours. I'm like, yeah, no one wants to give me a symbol now because I'm going to look at mine. So Pepsi, let's see. So we look at Pepsi. We had the breakout, this gap up, ran to this fib line, and it failed, right? Pepsi pulled back and just skyrocketed on that day. And where did it go to the next day? Right to the next fib line, right? Now it's bounced off of it and starting to make its move up. So we've been in a sideways ugly pattern for a very long time, not able to break that 143.69. We came at it twice and failed, finally have gotten some gusto behind it and pushed up. 148.75, Scott, would be your upside. A little late now for the entry, right? 143.69 was support. But that's the pullback you're looking for. Sarah said, hey, I think Google results missiled us. Doesn't look like TradeStation trades publicly. Oh, okay. Trades publicly anymore, at least under TRAD. Hasn't since roughly 2011, it looks like. As I said, I knew they were a publicly traded company. 2011, TradeStation Group is acquired by Japan's Monex Group. Ah. So maybe that's where some of the problems come in. So many of these firms, these exchanges are buying up some of these bigger brokerage type companies. MNXBY, is that a penny stock, Rick? MNXBY. No, it didn't even come up. Unsure? Yeah, nothing came up. MNXBY. Over the counter MKTS. We may just not get them in here. MKTX. No, it's not over the counter. Market Access Holdings. So $500 stock. Let's see. Let's draw a fib. Beautiful. Okay. So, I mean, if we close here, get a retest of the 519.69 and a fail, 503 is the next target. I don't know if it's optionable or not. That I'm not sure. Yeah, TD website, Gerald says 25K necessary to trade futures on an IRA. All right, let's see. I knew I wanted to call someone back. I wanted to call him back. So let's try that while I'm still looking here and talking. DoorDash filed for an IPO on Friday. How do you feel about them as they average huge losses and expect to go down when the economy returns? You know, I'm not sure about the go down part. I think we'll see them certainly pull back, or head down a little bit. But I think that COVID has drastically changed. Nope, they're not there. I'll get an answer for you guys on it. I think COVID has drastically changed the way that we do business. And what I mean by that is I think things have been accelerated that wouldn't have accelerated without it, like more of the home delivery, more of the shopping online, more of the restaurants having to reinvent themselves to be viable in, these traumatic series of times, right? I don't know enough about DoorDash themselves as a company, but the IPO will be interesting to watch. And then more importantly to me is how long does it take them to become publicly traded? That's really what I want to see. Is it a 10-day, a 30-day, a 200-day? They need a certain amount of options traded before they're allowed to become public. Let's see. Chewy, Debbie asked for. I probably should look at these guys more since my family spends as much money as they do on them. Right. Overall bullish trend. I don't really have a great place to draw a fib off of anywhere. From here, it's probably the best we have. But 61, 63. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's bring it in a little bit. Too much congestion right now, Debbie. There's a pressure cooker building up inside of here. So my next upside target, though, is 66. And if you're taking a day trade, you've got 50. Yeah, we don't have enough room here for a day trade. Close, maybe. What do we got? $3, 3.25. We're looking at 4.25. Yeah, I guess you could take a day trade. If you were day trading it to the downside, 61. Yeah, not a great rising three, Brenda, but yeah. Julia said, how do you anticipate proof of vaccinations affecting those China virus recovery stocks? They're saying that a certificate may be necessary to travel to enter casinos. Yeah, and I don't necessarily know that that's a bad thing, right? They had the guys on CNBC the other day, and I forget the guy's name at the top of my head right now. The guy that's with Kramer, saying if the vaccine was available now, I would take it. If I could get on an airplane and not have to worry about who I'm sitting next to, I would travel the whole country all over. He said I'd go everywhere. I'd be the first one online if they'd let me do it. So I think that I think there's a lot of stuff up in the air yet about the vaccines. People are taking right now that President Trump is retaliating against Governor Cuomo because of saying we're not going to send the vaccine to New York. No. Cuomo is out and out liar with the way he says things. He made it very clear that until there's a new president, he is not going to distribute the vaccine. So Trump said, and I've heard him say it, the exact words, I've seen the video clip. So if that's the case, Trump said, why am I going to send it to you? And this was nothing more than a political move. You may not like him, and Trump may not be the politician in the room, but he's a politician more than most people know, because now Cuomo has to explain to New York, why are we not getting a vaccine when everybody else is? right? I don't trust the president to say so. This is not, Cuomo said, we're going to work closely with the FDA. Wait, you don't think the federal government has worked closely with the FDA to come up with this vaccine? You need to question it again. Yeah, Tom. No, if someone has an underlying condition, it's probably not a bad idea to get the vaccine, but you've got to work that out with your doctor and so forth, right? Cool. Amelia, can you do me a favor and drop that link back in again? Yeah, Karen said the vaccine is horrible, changes your DNA, RNA, aborted fetus. They showed the medical terms for the actual. Yeah, and I guess it's just more a matter of what's the less of two evils. Right now, there's a lot of concerns, and if you have those concerns, then it may be best for you. Some vaccines are causing people to be sick before getting better. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Give me the virus. There you go. My daughter's a nurse and said she won't take it. There's talk at her hospital they may force you to take it. She said, absolutely not. You can't constitutionally make me take it. They have to wear a mask all the time, which she says I do that now anyway. All right, folks, there you have it. We're done. Hope it was a good class. Hope you enjoyed the training. With that, have a great rest of your day. God bless. Folks, go ahead and get yourself registered. I can't believe the numbers. We may have to put a third one on. Go ahead and get yourself registered early for Key to Be Free. There's 2 of them. It's the same training. Just pick out one. We may go longer than 60 minutes. Just keep that in mind, right? There's just way too much stuff I need to get out there to show you guys. So you have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I will see all of you at our next update. Take care, folks. See you then.